In this video, we will discuss proc means and proc freq. Both variables, both procedures are used to create summary information for variables. Proc means are used to compute summary statistics for numerical variables, but proc freq, so it is used to construct contingency table for categorical variables. So this is proc means, and we use this several times before, right? So this is the general syntax. So you say proc means, and so you may include more options after that. So the var statement, you just list the name of the variables that you want to compute. So for these more options here, more options. Let me show you. Mention this first. Okay. Yeah. So look at a example. So this is body measures, right? I think so. We use these data before. So let me first load this data. Those are just body measures for some patients from a national examination and nutrition survey. Okay, right. So we have more than 9,000 observations and 17 variables. Yeah. So this is how we run it. I mean, so without any extra option. So you just say proc means and list we want to compute summary statistic for height and weight. If you run this, by default, SAS will compute 5 summary information, right? N just how many observations, how many non-missing observations are used to compute those statistics. And so SAS compute mean, standard deviation, minimum, and maximum for each of the variable. And so you can ask SAS to compute other statistic, right? So these more options, so those options so can be the name of statistic you want. So here I just list some common statistics you may want SAS to compute. Yeah, so like n just as a sample size. I mean just number of non-missing observations. So will be used in computation. So minimum and maximum. So mean is just average, right? So we also have median, mode. Mode is just the value that the value with the largest frequency. Okay. Yeah. So n means just the number of missing observations. Range just the maximum minus the minimum. STD means standard deviation. Sum is just sum. VAR just the variance. CLM the confidence limit for mean. Right. Yeah. And another commonly used is the max dec. So this just controls the number of decimal places to be displayed. Yeah. So you can see the default. So since SAS keep many digits after decimal point, right? So you can reduce that to basically to some number you prefer. Yeah. So let's check this example. So basically I just ask SAS to compute all of them and minimum, maximum, range. Oh, I think Q1, Q3. So that just means the first quartile, third quartile. Q range means the interquartile range. This is STD and STDRR, right? So STD means the standard deviation. So STDRR is the standard error. So this is just standard deviation divided by the square root of n. So then we have CLM. So we specify 4 decimal places. Right, so let's run this. Okay, you can see, yeah. So SAS just compute all statistics you request. Okay. So some other statement where, class, and by. Yeah. So what is where? Where I think we use the where statement in proc print before, right? So this just specify which. Basically just select some observations to process, right? So like for this one, so if we specify gender equals male, right? So means those height and weight will only computed for males. Yeah. So we run this one. Okay. So for class statement, so usually so you can specify some categorical variable. So then the height, weight, so those summary statistic will be computed at different level of this gender. Yeah. So if we run this one, you can see because we have male and female, right? And so then SAS just will compute those at different level of male and female. Here, of course, a class we only specify one variable, and so you can specify multiple variable. For example, so the marital status, right? Yeah. So if you run this one, so SAS will compute the summary statistic at each level combination of gender and the marital status. Okay. By is very similar to class, yeah, but just the output slightly different. And if you use a by statement, and so the data should be sorted first. Yeah. So the by statement essentially you just partition the data according to different level of the gender, and so those summary statistics are computed for each level separately. Yeah, so let me run this one. You can see basically when gender equals F equals female, right? So we compute those summary statistics, and so when gender equal to male, we just do something similar. Okay, yeah. So this is where, class, and by statement. We can also ask proc means to output the summary statistics. Yeah, so the statement is called output statement. So here you just say out equals. Yeah, so here you just specify the name of the dataset you want. So SAS will create a new dataset. So with this name you specified. So after that, okay, so then you just list so what statistic you want, and so what name you want for the statistic you compute. Yeah, so usually so we will write the code in this way. So see, statistics are just some SAS keyword. Yeah, so statistic can be those, see what I listed here. Yeah, so can be any of them. So then in the parentheses, you can just write the name, the list of variable you want to compute, and also and on the right hand side of equality sign, you just write the name you want for that statistic in the new dataset. So for example, so you may write a code in this way, right? So this just means I ask SAS to generate a new dataset. The name is my data. Okay, and I ask SAS to compute the mean for two variables, exam1 and exam2. And so for those mean, so in the output dataset, so the name of these variables so will be ex1 mean and ex2 mean. Okay, yeah, so let's try to demonstrate that. See, like here, I have the output statement, right? So the name of the dataset, so I call it, so it will be a summary, right? And so then I want to compute the mean for height and weight, okay? And see, because I have two variables here, so then I need two names for those mean, right? So one of them I call it HT mean, one of them I call it WT mean. So then I just also compute the standard deviation, right? And so for those, okay? So after I run this one, SAS still will show those output in the result tab. And SAS, see, if you check the log window, SAS will say, see, the dataset summary has 3 observations and 7 variables, right? Yeah, so then you can check the contents of this summary, dataset summary, right? Yeah, because why we have F and M, right? Yeah, because so in this one, so we have a class statement. So those summary statistics are computed at, for male and female separately. Okay. Yeah, so then I have, see, HT mean, WT mean, so those are just the name of the variable I specified in the output statement, right? So I have HWSTD and WTSTD, okay? So what are those type can be 0, can be 1. Yeah, so 1, essentially, so this 0 and 1 just are used to distinguish different type of those summary statistics. So 0, so you may notice, see, in the gender, so this is missing, right? Yeah, so just means, so those summary statistics are computed for, basically for all observations. Yeah, you can see it causes the frequency, see, this is 9,759, right? Yeah, but so this y1 and 1, so just means, so when gender equal to f and when gender equal to m, so they are those statistics. So those statistics are computed for either for male only or maybe for female only. Yeah. Let me show you another example. So this one, so I just include two categorical variables, so gender and race. Yeah, so but the remaining part of the code looks similar. Okay. So I run this one. So this part is output generated by proc means, right? So SAS just compute those summary statistics for each gender and race combination. So this part, so is the output generated by proc means. So this just shows the contents of the summary show the contents of the new data set, so generated by this output statement, right? So this is output 2. Yeah, so we use proc print to show the contents of summary 2. To read this output, you can see, so the name of the variable are specified according to your SAS code, right? So the type, so this just distinguish different type of summary statistics. So again, so 0, so this one is just those summary statistics are computed for all for all observations. Yeah, because gender, see, this is missing, right? So then we have type 1. So this just means, see, it has value for different races, right? So those, like this row, for example, so those summary statistics are computed for Mexican American, right? Yeah, so for example, for this row, those statistics are computed for all other Hispanic. So then we have type 2, right? See, so those are just summary statistics for female, and so this row corresponds to so this row are summary statistics for males. And after that, we have type 3, right? See, those are just for each level combination of gender and race. Yeah, so those, for example, so what I highlighted, yeah, so those are summary statistics computed for non-Hispanic white females, right? So this is how to read the output generated by proc means. Okay. So now we move on and let's look at Proc Freq. So this is used to construct one-way or maybe two-way contingency table for categorical variable. Yeah, so this is the usually so how we use it. Yeah, so by default, so it just display each distinct data value and also the corresponding frequencies and the percentage. Yeah, and I think so we use this several times before. Some common option. Yeah, see here I say option for Proc Freq, option for table. Yeah, for option for Proc Freq, so just means this option will be written right after Proc Freq statement. Yeah, so just before this semicolon. Those options for table statement. Yeah, so this should be included in the table statement. So usually, so we write a slash and then write those options. N levels just display the number of levels. This is helpful if the number of levels are, if there are too many levels, right? Yeah, so with this option, so SAS will just give you a count of how many levels in this, for this variable. Let me show this one. So I just see this one, the table statement, I just want to create a frequency table for gender and for race separately. Yeah, so notice I use space to separate the name of the variable. So in order to make the output more readable, so I have a format statement. I use the format procedure. So to define a format in this way, you can see, do you still remember? So the proc format, okay. So because gender is a categorical variable, so when I want to define a format for categorical variable, so in the name here, see the first letter, so should be a $sign. So I call this format my gender, right? So basically just for F, so I want SAS to display female, and for M, I want SAS to display male, right? So then here I use a format statement to tell SAS I want SAS to use this format for this variable. Yeah, so notice, so if you want to specify a format, so you need to have this period, right? Yeah, but when you define format here, so no period is needed, okay? N levels, so this just tells us I want SAS to show the number of levels for each of the variable I listed here, okay? So let's run this part. Okay, right, yeah, see, gender so has 2 levels, so race has 5 levels, and so SAS just show the frequency table. See, for gender F or M, right? So instead of F of M, so here so SAS display female and male. Yeah, so if you want to see the difference, see if I just comment out this statement, if I run it again, right? So SAS will show F and M, right? Yeah. So that's just you need to use format statement, so can make your output easier to read. Okay. So in this table statement, so I use space to separate the name of the variables, right? But if I use star, okay, so use this one, then SAS will create a two-way contingent table. Yeah, so if I run this one, so SAS will get a two-way table. So each cell indicate maybe basically the level accumulation of race and gender. Yeah, so like this one, so SAS will include so those corresponds to Mexican American female. So in each cell, so you may notice, so there are 4 numbers, right? Okay, so the meaning of the 4 numbers are here. So the legend is here. So the first one is frequency. So basically we have 1,061 Mexican American females. The second number is a percent. Yeah, so just the percent of observations outside of the whole population, right? So we have 10.87%. So then the next, so we have the percent row. So like this 49.42. So this is the percent in this row. Yeah, so this just means, so for all Mexican American, so 49.42% are females. The last one are column percent. Yeah, so this one, so 21.67. So this just indicate basically the percentage of these columns. Yeah, so just means among all females, 21.67% are Mexican American. So in the margin, so we will have total, right? So the total, so just means the total. First one is the frequency, right? So either this is the frequency for this row, and so here, so this total, so this is the frequency for this column. The next number will be percent, right? See, percent. See, those percent, so just will be the percent of each race, so outside of the, among all observations. Yeah, and so in here, those percent just will be the percent of female and percent of male. And so the right bottom cell, so this just includes the total, right? So the total observations in this data set. Yeah. So this is how to read this output. So let's introduce a more option for the for table statement. So cross list just instead of show the result in a table. See, here we show the result in a table, right? So if you say cross list, so SAS just show the result in a list. Okay? Yeah, see, in a list, right? Yeah, so basically show the frequency, show the percent. Yeah, just a different way to show the output. This one, no call, no row, no percent. Yeah, I think we mentioned, see, in each cell, right, we have 4 numbers. So no call, so means no column percent, no row percent, right? And so no percent, just no percent. So SAS will only show you the frequency table. So the out just means I specify a name of a dataset. So SAS will show, will output the frequency to a new dataset. So let me run this one. You can see, yeah, because we have no call, no row, no percent, right? So SAS only shows the frequency here. Yeah, so this is the frequency table. Because we have the out option and specify my table, right? So now I show the contents of my table. You can see, so SAS just show you this frequency and percent. Yeah, so for those race and gender level combination. Okay. One question. Yeah, so this is a application of Proc Freq. So how to check whether the value of a variable is unique? So for example, so in this data set, so in this body measure, right? So we have a variable so called seqn. So for this variable, so supposed to be unique. I'm supposed to be unique, right? Yeah, but I'm not sure, so I just want to check so whether it is unique or not. So the easiest way is, well, so you just use the frequency table, and so you check the frequency, right? So if the frequencies are 1 for each level, so of course, so then this value, will be unique. Yeah, and see, let me run this one. It does not contain any column. Why? Body. Oh, no print. I have a no print. No print, so just means do not show the basically do not show that table. Okay, so let me run this first. Oh, see, frequency table, right? But this is too long. Okay, yeah. So see, then I will give you tells you a trick. Well, so since then basically right now, so what we want to check is so whether all those frequencies are 1, right? So then a trick is, well, so how about we just do a frequency table for this data again, right? So check this frequency to see so what are the values. Yeah, so if all of them are 1, so then means the data set is unique, right? So this is why, see, I have out. So basically I output that frequency table so to another table, so called this name, right? So then I just show the frequency table of this guy. Okay. Oh, so by the way, see, in the output, so you may notice this is, so let me run this one. See, the count is 1, right? See, since all those distinct values, the frequencies, all of them are 1. Yeah, so this indicates so all the values are unique. Yeah, and so then I want no print because because I know, so as I showed, so the table for this table so is too large, and I do not want SAS to display it and to save time. Yeah, so then I use option no print and do not show that table, right? So I directly show basically the frequency of the frequency. Okay. Yeah, so this is a trick, and so we use, and we can use that to check so whether a variable is unique or not. So basically you just generate the frequency table and then generate the frequency table of that frequency table. Yeah, so if all the frequencies are 1, then so the variable has unique values.